put your hands together now hard for Mr. Dingo Jack, a.k.a. Mr. Super Trucker Tim.
Hey, what's going on?
Woo!
Hey, I am Super Trucker Tim, and I just got a new patch on the old travel pack here. New York! Just got back from New York, guys. And, I saw things up in New York that I've never seen before, right? So I'm driving through some upstate New York, and I kept seeing the word Hamlet. Now, I've never heard that word before. I don't know what it means, but it sounds delicious. And I just kept picturing in my mind an omelet with extra ham. And I'm only half Jewish, so this is not a deal breaker, guys. The ham thing, we're good on the ham thing. And I started picturing something light like crepes with extra ham and hollandaise sauce, and I'm getting hungrier and hungrier. And I kept anticipating the deliciousness of this Hamlet, right? So I'm driving through this little town here, and I keep looking for it, and all there was a freaking tire shop. And then I kept going, and there was just a CVS. There never was a breakfast place, and then I come to find out later that all a Hamlet is a little town that you can't blink or you'll miss it. It was the biggest ripoff in history. And it ruined my day. On top of that, because I was watching for this breakfast place, I'm swerving all over the road, and I get pulled over by a cop. And he asked me if I was driving impaired. And so, as a joke, I looked at him and said, "There's pears involved? Pears are delicious. I love pears." But he didn't think that was very funny. So I talked him out of a clubbing and a beating. And I got back on the road and got back into the city, guys. And one thing I learned about New York is that the names of some of the towns scare me, and I'll tell you why, okay? Fish, kill. Wall, kill. Cats, kill. Who kills cats? Everybody. I'm a cat person, so I'm very sensitive about killing cats. There shouldn't be a town called Catskill. And then I drive a little bit further, and there's a place called, and I know I'm going to slaughter this name, guys, it's called Verdure Deer Kill. Now, I don't know what a Verdure Deer is, but it sounds like it needs to die. Anyway, these New Yorkers got a problem with the word kill. There's a lot of killing going on. I don't know, there needs to be some therapy, some chilling out of some kind. I don't really know what's going on there. But I left upstate New York, and I went to the city of New York. And one thing I learned about the city of New York, now I'm from the West Coast, guys. New York taught me everybody there was polite, which taught me that all the big city people over on the West Coast, these guys are jerks. Okay, let me give you guys an idea of what I was dealing with on the West Coast. Now, I'm a hunter, okay, guys? And one thing people know on the West Coast, you do not screw with a West Coast country boy during elk season. That is a sacred, holy week. We call it Elk Jihad. Sacred week. I take it off work as a holy week. You don't screw with the guy during the holy week, right? People know this. So I'm going up to my mountain with my buddy. We got a place called the Honey Hole where we get an elk every year, right? I'm going up there, and there's a guy and his friend, and they're wearing these kind of like designer camouflage suits. That's what it'd be if Gucci made camouflage. And they got lights and they got maps, and I blow past him and said, "Hey fellas, how you doing?" Go up my way, and he looks at me and he says, "Where are you going?" I said, "Hunting." He goes, "No, we're hunting all this." I said, "Dude, there's 700 acres up there. There's room for all of us, I'm pretty sure." And he says, "Well, I've been hunting here for 15 years, and I'm going to be hunting up there. You can't." And I said, "Okay, all right, let's settle this right here, all right? I've been hunting here for 15 years. And if you had been here that long, I would have seen you before. And you're using a map and a flashlight in the dark, which you would not need if you knew the area. On top of that, I can smell your neoprene camouflage that still has the creases in it from being freshly folded that some agent over at Capella's just sold you. You are a poser. You are what's called a yuppie, sir. And you are a liar and not a sportsman." And this guy was talking to me like somebody who's never been punched in the face. So I get up to the top of the mountain. I see my beautiful elk. Boom! I shoot him. One shot, he goes down. And then I hear a second shot, and it's this yuppie, and he's standing next to my elk. And I said, "Oh, you finally found one you could hit." And this jackass is trying to claim it as his. And I said, "Look, dude, look. You're using a 30 cal. Obviously, it's the only thing you know about. I'm using something very rare called the 4570. It's a 350 grain slug. There's going to be no comparison. I dig it out, and it's going to be my elk. I just got to get the cops up here, and it'll end all this." So that's what I dealt with on the West Coast. So now I start hunting down here, right, guys, in the woods around Ocala. Now I run into some of the good old country boys, right? And they're like, hey, how you doing? Why don't you come on over here and squeeze out a few rounds of this MP5? I was like, okay, all right. So I guess country boys, West Coast or East Coast, we're all country boys, and we know another country boy. So I'm like, let's squeeze some rounds off. We see some pigs, okay, I've never drank beers and shot guns before. That's always been a bad idea in my eyes, but hey, when in Rome, right? So this guy, here's my problem, guys. The people over here wave at you with all their fingers. I like that, because over on the West Coast we have what's called the California salute. Not too fond of that. So people over here wave at you with all their fingers. They don't always, if they're using their fireworks hand. And I understand, because you get involved with fireworks, common sense goes out the window, and you're going to lose some common sense and some limbs. That's just what's going to happen. Now, that being said, these guys don't always smile at you with all their teeth. But that's okay. That's okay, because I love the personality, I love the people. I'm hanging out with these guys, having a great time. But when I got closer down the road to this guy's truck, he had a cardboard cutout taped to the side of his truck, written in felt pen, that said, "Old Jesse Workman." Now, I'm not going to call Old Jesse Workman, and I don't care what's wrong with my house. I love Old Jesse, he's a great guy, but he's not working on my house. His CCB number is probably the same as his lotto numbers. And I'm guessing he doesn't have a really great warranty, and I sure don't want Jesse using my bathroom. That being said, I had a great time hunting with Old Jesse, and I got no complaints about the people down here in Florida or in the East Coast up in New York. But one cool thing happened, guys. I got to show you. In New York, in the truck stops down here, they honored my points that I earned on the West Coast trucking. Okay, I got some t-shirts I got to show you guys. This is what people think of truckers. All right, I hate the stereotype. Don't you sass me, darling. No truckers talk like this. This is crap. But it was a free shirt, so I'm not going to complain. So I'm a trucker, so I can't help it. Guys, I'm a trucker. I'm not sexy. I've never seen very many truckers that are sexy. It says, get to the chopper. Okay, I'm probably going to say that. I'm going to say that a lot. So that one's accurate. Now, here's one that's also accurate for truckers. I'll hand you guys this one. Live fast, eat trash. That's going to happen. All right, guys?
That's that record that was in my backyard.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Woo!
Super Trucker Tim, one more time for him.